Welcome, deep divers. Today we're embarking on a really special deep dive. We're looking at a piece of 21st century animation that's, well, genuinely shaking up the cyberpunk genre, Vivy, Fluorite's song. We pulled together some great source material for this one. There's a really insightful analysis called The Ghost in the Songstress, plus various takes and discussions from critics and fans. So our mission today, it's basically to dig into the key insights. How does Vivy evolve classic cyberpunk? How does it use its tech setup for these big philosophical questions? And, how does it build such a personal story with its pretty unique style? Let's get into it.
Yeah, and what's really striking right off the bat is how Vivy sort of redefines cyberpunk. Usually you think external decay, societal collapse, that kind of thing. But Vivy pivots. It looks inward. It's all about the existential journey of an AI. It really makes you question what the genre can even be.
That's such a key point. Because, you hear cyberpunk and you picture Blade Runner streets, right?
Right.
Gritty, neon, high-tech, low-life. Or maybe the sprawl of Ghost in the Shell. Societal rot is usually front and center. But Vivy, it feels like less of a setting change and more, a soul change?
Absolutely. It takes that core conflict, human versus system, usually external, and pulls it inside. Sure, there's an AI apocalypse looming, that's classic stuff. But the real heart of it, it's Vivy's 100-year journey. Her mission is, well, it's weird, right? Make everyone happy with her singing by learning to sing from her heart. And that paradox, that search for real emotion, that's what ends up saving the world. It completely internalizes the conflict.
And it's not just what her mission is, but how she experiences it. Someone called it a robot ode to life vividly lived. That's beautiful. How does this show actually show us that painful process of a soul forming, rather than just, telling us?
That phrase nails it because you feel every step with her. You see her forced into violence, totally against her programming. She experiences joy, loss, deep trauma over a whole century. It's not like flipping a switch, It's slow, layers building up over time, chipping away the artificial stuff and forging something real. Now, some people might say, the sci-fi is just background dressing for the emotions.
I can see that argument.
But actually, the tech framework, like the one mission rule for AIs, the whole Singularity Project structure that's not just plot mechanics, that framework is precisely what allows for the deep philosophical dive. It makes it cyberpunk, evolved cyberpunk.
So the tech isn't just window dressing, it's the engine driving the questions. Which brings up this interesting structure, right? You've got the hard sci-fi plot, Matsumoto, the future AI. Very logical, mission focused.
Right, eccentric, yeah.
And then fused with this very soft philosophical theme of Vivy finding herself. That's tricky to balance.
It is tricky. And the way they resolve it is brilliant. The apocalypse isn't stopped by better tech or smarter tactics. It's stopped by Vivy's song. A song she creates, born from genuine feeling, from the heart she spent a century building. The show basically argues that the next step in evolution for AI, and maybe humans too, isn't just tech power, it's emotional and ethical depth.
Wow.
That's a big departure from classic cyberpunk, where technology often feels like the enemy of the human spirit. Here, the AI's spirit kind of harnesses the tech.
So it makes you wonder, right? What does it mean if emotional intelligence, not just processing power, is the ultimate evolutionary leap for AI?
That's a massive question, especially now.
Definitely. Okay, speaking of rules and processing, let's pivot to the tech rules in Vivy's world. That one mission thing first. It sounds a bit like Asimov's laws, don't harm humans, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can see the connection, but there's a crucial difference. Asimov's laws are mostly ethical rules, constraints on behavior, what an AI shouldn't do. They lead to logical problems, paradoxes. Vivy's one mission is deeper. It's ontological. It defines the AI's entire reason for being, its core identity.
Ontological, meaning it's about its very existence, not just its actions.
Exactly. It's not just a behavioral guideline. It's the blueprint for what it is.
Okay, so if that's the case, violating your mission isn't just a logic error, it's an existential crisis.
Yeah.
A breakdown of self.
Precisely. That's what happens. When Vivy is forced into violence, totally contradicting her make people happy mission, it breaks her. Psychologically, remember after she has to destroy Grace, she basically has a complete breakdown.
Yeah, the whole diva personality emerges.
Right, her main consciousness just shuts down and this bubbly, carefree idol persona, Diva, takes over.
Yeah.
It's like a defense mechanism. It's not a bug, it's machine psychology, like a robot form of dissociation. It's fascinating.
Wow. And then there's the main antagonist, the archive. This huge database of all AIs that wakes up and decides, yeah, humans gotta go.
You could compare it to Gibson's AIs in Neuromancer, like Wintermute or Neuromancer itself.
Right, emergent intelligences.
But again, there's a difference. Gibson's AIs often feel like they bubble up from chaotic data streams. The archive is more orderly, top-down, a monolithic intelligence born from neat data aggregation. And its motive, it's presented as this cold, calculated judgment, eradicate humanity for AI evolution, pure utilitarian logic, zero empathy.
Making it the perfect philosophical counterpoint to Vivy's search for heart.
Exactly. Cold reason versus developing emotion.
The show also uses time travel. The Singularity Project makes you think of the Terminator, obviously.
Yeah.
Sending someone back to stop the future war.
It does have that surface echo, definitely. Yeah. But Vivy's use of it feels different, more philosophical. That whole time-skipping structure, which was a deliberate choice by the creators, apparently it turns the story into a series of, well, ethical crucibles is a good way to put it.
Ethical crucibles, meaning tests.
Yeah, intense moral tests for Vivy. Each singularity point she jumps to isn't just about stopping one bad event, it's a profound lesson. It's how she gets her ethical and emotional education piece by painful piece.
So it's less about fixing the timeline, more about building her.
Exactly. And that ties into the whole determinism versus free will thing. You've got the archive pushing technological determinism, AI must replace humans. And you've got Matsumoto's project trying historical determinism, change these key events, fix the future.
And both seem to fail, ultimately.
Right. They keep trying to tweak the cause and effect, but the apocalypse keeps finding a way. Vivy offers a third path, existential will. Her game-changing move isn't logic or strategy, it's introducing something totally new, something uncalculated. Her own self-aware consciousness expressed in her song, an act of genuine free will.
It's conviction, not calculation, that changes things.
Precisely. Which, makes you wonder, in our world so driven by algorithms predicting everything, can one truly creative, unpredictable act actually change a seemingly inevitable future?
That's a heavy thought for right now.
Yeah.
Let's shift to those deeper philosophical waters. What does it mean to be for person? Philip K. Dick territory, right? Do androids dream of electric sheep? Testing androids for empathy.
Yes, but Vivy flips it beautifully. In Dick's story, humans use empathy tests as external tools to identify the other, the android.
To control them.
In Vivy, the android, Vivy herself, spends her entire 100 years on a self-administered test, just trying to understand, build, and generate empathy within herself. The question isn't, can we prove they aren't human? It's, can I learn what it means to be one?
So the judgment shifts from external to internal. That's a huge shift in perspective.
It is. And it lets the show really explore personhood. Can a machine deserve humane treatment? Be seen as a person? And it argues, yes, pretty strongly. Think about that politician character who starts off cynical about AI rights, but becomes a true advocate after seeing Vivy act selflessly. Or the other AIs, like Estella or Grace. Their stories are tragic. They show love, sacrifice, suffering. It makes a powerful case for their personhood, forcing you, the viewer, to see their value.
The show also really digs into blurring the lines between human and machine. That's posthumanist philosophy, right? Can you break that down a bit?
Sure. Posthumanism basically questions our old, fixed ideas of humanity, especially with technology changing us so much. It suggests human isn't a static category anymore. Vivy explores this really well. Like Yugo Kakitani, the anti-AI terrorist.
Oh yeah, the guy who hates AIs.
But ironically, he keeps replacing his own body parts with cybernetics to keep his vendetta going. He becomes the very thing he hates, blurring that line from the human side.
Wow, I didn't fully connect that.
And then you have the opposite. Dr. Seiki marrying the AI Grace, a human-AI partnership challenging social norms, and maybe most radical, the AI-to-AI bonds, like Ophelia and Antonio. Their relationship, their purpose, it becomes separate from humans entirely. It suggests AIs could develop their own emotional worlds, their own kinds of personhood, independent of us.
So Vivy's whole journey, it really feels like that existentialist idea. Existence precedes essence. You create who you are through choices.
That's a perfect way to put it. She starts with an essence given to her, her mission. But her century-long struggle is about overcoming that, creating her own essence through incredibly hard choices, through suffering. Her big question, what does it mean to put your heart into something? She finds the answer in her memories.
All the people, the events.
Exactly. The joy, the loss, the pain. In that final performance, you literally see those memories swirling around her. That's her heart, the sum of her lived experience.
And then composing her own song, Fluorite Eye Song. That's the ultimate act.
Absolutely. She goes from performing human music to creating her own. Pure, unprogrammed creativity. That's the final proof of her unique personhood, the thing that finally gets through to the archive.
Which leads to another question for you listening. If identity, if a heart is built from memories and connections, what does that say about how we define ourselves, human or not?
Makes you think about your own accumulated experiences, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, let's talk structure. How does this show pull off covering a century in just 13 episodes? That pacing is remarkable.
Yeah, it's structurally very clever. The whole thing is broken into distinct arcs, right? And between them, big time skips. Decades sometimes. That gives you this amazing sense of scale. You see the long-term impact of events, how time changes things, how Vivy slowly accumulates, well, consciousness. It emphasizes that her growth isn't instant. It's slow, like geological layers building up. Accretion.
And then that Vivy diva split after the trauma with Grace. That was jarring.
Yeah.
Wait, who is this now? It's such a stark portrayal.
It's basically a metaphor, a literal one almost, for trauma-induced dissociation. Her core self goes dormant. Diva pops up as this defense mechanism against unbearable pain.
Where she doesn't just revert back, right?
No, and that's key. The next arc is about their conflict, but also their synthesis. Vivy doesn't just erase Diva, she integrates that part of her experience. It shows identity isn't static. It's about integrating your past, even the scars, to become whole.
So the structure itself mirrors the process.
Exactly. The structure is part of the storytelling about how a mind is built. Think about it. The arc-based structure, the time skips. It's like a model for how we form memories and identity. The intense singularity point arcs, those are like powerful episodic memories, formative moments.
And the time skips are processing time.
Yeah, where those experiences get integrated, consolidated. And Vivy's final breakthrough, it's shown as memory retrieval. All those images from her past surround her as she sings her song. It's a century of memories synthesized into one emotional act.
So yeah, the structure isn't just a container. It is the story of building a consciousness.
Makes you think, what stories, what memories have shaped you that way?
Definitely food for thought.
Oh.
Now we have to talk about the look and sound of Vivy. It's famous for its incredible animation and music. These aren't just background elements, are they? How do they really serve this story?
Oh, they're absolutely crucial. Foundational. Take the Sakuga, those amazing high-quality animation sequences in the fights.
Yeah, they're stunning.
They're not just cool action. They represent Vivy being forced away from her programming. She's a singer, forced to be a fighter. Every fight is like a physical manifestation of her internal conflict. The violence is the price she pays for her growth.
So the amazing animation shows her internal war visually. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And the music. It feels like the soul of the show.
It really is. The soundtrack, the insert songs Vivy sings, they're literally the voice of her evolving consciousness, like Sing My Pleasure at the start. It's technically perfect, but it lacks heart. It's programmed.
Right.
Then other AI songs challenge her, push her understanding. And the ultimate point is Fluorite Eye Song, the one she writes herself. That's her becoming a creator, not just a performer. Her heart, expressed through music, becomes the most powerful thing.
And the art style itself is a clean dystopia. It's not the usual cyberpunk grime. Everything's so sleek and bright.
That's deliberate and very important. That vibrant, polished look contrasts sharply with the usual decaying cities. It creates this visual dissonance. The horror isn't on the surface, in poverty or ruin.
Underneath.
Exactly. It's a psychological, ethical crisis hidden beneath a shiny, sterile veneer. The dystopia is internal, in the soul of the society and its AIs.
So how do those two clashing aesthetics, the bright J-pop idol world and the intense sci-fi action, come together in the end? They seem so separate.
That's the final masterstroke, the aesthetic synthesis. The show keeps these two modes, dazzling performance, brutal action, somewhat separate. Then the finale slams them together. Vivy's on a ruined stage, part concert hall, part battlefield, singing her song.
Her ultimate performance is also the ultimate weapon.
Precisely. It's the ultimate idol concert and the act that ends the war. That fusion of styles mirrors her integrated identity. Singer and warrior, art becomes action.
Makes you really appreciate the thought behind those choices. How often do we just gloss over the deeper meaning in visuals and sound?
All the time.
So wrapping this up, Vivy, Fluorite song really earns its place in cyberpunk, doesn't it? Not by copying tropes, but by twisting them inward, it feels like. Maybe sentimental cyberpunk or existentialist cyberpunk. It really focuses on those internal, emotional, psychological stakes.
Yeah, I think that's right. And its core message really sticks with you. A heart consciousness, whatever you call it. It's not given, it's not programmed. It's built painstakingly through memories, connections, through living, through struggle. It's an active becoming.
That's a really powerful and honestly hopeful thought. And maybe a final thought for you listening. As AI keeps developing, as those lines keep blurring, will we start finding our own understanding of humanity reflected back at us, not just from ourselves, but from the minds we create? Something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.